Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And this is going to be my official first autumnal build of the season. I am so freaking happy. It's finally September. Now I know that technically fall doesn't start, I think until September 22nd? Or something. I can't really remember. But the second it's September 1st, it's fall for me. Like I am in full autumnal mode. I'm ready for leaves falling from the trees, which I now have a yard, which means I have to take care of the leaves. But whatever, I'm going to enjoy them as long as I can and whatever ways I can. This means like pumpkins. It means warm hot chocolate and or coffee. It means apple cider donuts. It means pumpkin patches. It means mazes. It means Halloween. Just like all of the things that I love so freaking much. And I was so inspired. I think it was maybe like a week or two ago at this point, my very dear friend, Rachel Ped, who you should follow on all social media, by the way. She's an amazing builder and she also is a fellow fall lover. That was kind of a mouthful. And she did her first autumnal build and I was just shooketh to my freaking core. I loved it so much. And I was just thinking, you know what am I waiting for? Like, why am I waiting to do my fall builds? I'm just so eager for fall to be here. Where I am, it is still reasonably warm. It's still summer, weather-wise, but we're getting there. We are getting there. We're starting to get into the 70-degree weather instead of the 90-degree weather, which is a huge improvement from my perspective. I despise summer, and I've talked about it before, so I won't bore you all with that rant again. But anyway, we are building in Copperdale because I thought this would be such a nice world to build in fall. And I was not disappointed. The landscaping and all the colors changing is so beautiful in Copperdale. I was so happy. It was either going to be Copperdale or Brindleton Bay because Brindleton Bay is modeled after New England, which is where I'm from. And the colors are stunning in fall in New England as well. But I thought that Copperdale would be really nice and it's beautiful. I think this lot, I don't remember what this lot was originally called because you can actually see in the top left-hand side of the screen, I had downloaded another build. It was actually by Simlicy and it was a beautiful build. I think it was for a dad and a teen daughter. And I was playing in it with a sim kind of like off camera. I ended up getting rid of it because I did something else with my sim off camera. It was my current household, which I shared a video on, I want to say like a week or two ago. I had a whole different dynamic that I was thinking of prior. But anyway, that's why I don't actually know what the original lot name was for this lot. But Simlicy's build was so beautiful. She did this amazing work with terrain tools to create like a raised side yard. And I wanted to try my hand at that because I don't think that I am very good with side yards at all. I don't typically do them, number one. And number two, with terrain tools, like forget about it. I'm not good with terrain tools whatsoever. So I wanted to try to use them here. And I was going off of this reference image on Pinterest, which I will put on screen for you now, as long as I remember. But I will put that on screen and it made me think of, because I'm from New England, maybe think of like the city of Boston and thinking of the Boston townhouses and how they're all somewhat raised from ground level. So there are usually a handful of stairs to get up to the actual townhouse. And though this isn't a townhouse, I wanted to use the terrain tools to create a bigger kind of entry point for this home. And that is exactly what I did. So there's actually like 2 levels of stairs to go up, which would be exhausting, but I thought it looked really nice and it allowed me to play around with terrain manipulation a little bit more and create a little bit of a side yard. So I will tip my hat to Simlicy because I think that build was beautiful. I think it was one of her early access builds. I can't really recall, but I'm actually starting to branch out a little bit more and watch some other creators as well. Now, I don't know if I'm alone in this, and I've talked about it before, but for a very long time, essentially when I started my YouTube channel, I started it because I wanted to get feedback on builds and I wanted to share things with everybody who also enjoyed The Sims, but I really wanted feedback on those builds. And what happened is I had happened upon a speed build on YouTube for The Sims 4 and I had no idea what a speed build was. I had no clue. I didn't know that was a thing that people did. And I can't even remember who the creator was at this point, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, I want to try my hand at that. That seems neat. And anyway, I didn't watch a lot of creators for years, like for the past, how long have I even been doing YouTube? Like nearing 3 years maybe in the spring of next year. I don't even know how long I've been doing this at this point, but it's been at least a couple of years and I really haven't watched other creators, and I'm just getting comfortable doing so and not having it completely influence decisions that I make, because that's why I didn't do it. I didn't want to be influenced in some of the design choices I was making. So hopefully that made sense. That was a very long-winded rant for no reason, but we're already onto the interior. And my goal with this house, on top of it being, of course, fall in the game and having the exterior be, filled with fall colors and everything, I wanted the interior to also be really cozy and autumnal, but not overly decorated for fall. Essentially, I wanted you all to be able to use this home and have it feel appropriate outside of the fall season as well. I'll definitely be doing some more builds that are heavily themed to either like Spooky Day, i.e. Halloween, or just the season of fall as well, completely covered with pumpkins and stuff like that. But that wasn't really my goal for this one. I just wanted it to be somewhat rustic and really cozy. So this is the living room, and it's a very small, awkward living room because this is an odd-shaped house. To be totally fair, this is a very odd-shaped house with all of the bigger kind of bump outs and like turret pieces and everything. So it was a little bit difficult. I usually like to have the couch directly in front of the TV, not at an angle, but I think that this was the only layout that was really going to make sense. But I took this base game couch that is actually a career unlock, and then I also use this high-backed armchair from Cats and Dogs because I think it's beautiful. I don't remember if I end up keeping this yellow swatch with the green blanket or if I switch it to a dark purple swatch. I think I switched it to the dark purple swatch just because it muted things a little tiny bit but still brought some color. I didn't want this to be overly orange, yellow, and green because to me, again, that would just be almost a little bit too autumnal, and it wasn't really what I was going for. So hopefully that makes sense to all of you because I was trying to strike a balance and I think I did it. But I could also be wrong, and that's definitely just my opinion. You guys could think differently, but I really liked the living room. I got to use this lamp from the Werewolves game pack, which was really exciting. I really like that lamp. It's simplistic, and in this particular swatch, it didn't look too worn out because you can see the lampshade is actually really patchy, as if they kind of patched it up themselves, which is really cute. And then in the entryway, I do have this little, I'm going to call it like a coat closet. It's kind of like the mudroom entryway-ish, and I put a console table here with a mirror, and then there's this little coat rack, coat closet thing, and then I think I put maybe a clock. I might even do it off camera, but then there's also another piece of artwork as well, because it was a really, really small space to try to decorate sufficiently, but I still wanted it to have appeal when you first walk into the house itself. I didn't want it to be boring. That's what I'm trying to say. But I did put a few decorations on this console table. There's a plant, there's a little lamp, and blessings, the tool mod. I didn't have it for the last couple of builds that I did. And that's just because I forgot to put it back in my game after the latest patch update, which broke it. As always, it typically breaks with a patch update. I'm not surprised, but it made it so I couldn't even open the world of Copperdale. And then I couldn't even open any of the lots once I did get in, which was super frustrating. So I took tool mod out of my game and I forgot to put it back in. And this was my first build where I had it back in my game and I was able to use it, and it was such a relief. I don't think now, I've had such a long, complicated history with the tool mod. It's a very love-hate thing, but now I'm at the point where I don't think I want to build without it, which is pretty staggering for me. I never thought I would be that person, but once you learn how to use it in ways that work for you and your build style, it's fantastic. But anyway, this is the kitchen, and I love this kitchen. Again, odd-shaped room because of the little turret piece there, and the bay window area, whatever you want to call it. But I really loved the kitchen. I loved it so much. I was able to use these chairs from the new high school years pack, and I made all the appliances this dark green because I thought it matched not only with the chairs, but also the sofa in the living room. And I like the darker earthy tones with touches of gold and yellow to bring out the autumnal theme, but not have it be too heavy. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Because that's kind of what I was going for. I loved the kitchen so much. I loved all the appliances and the countertops kind of being separated on opposite sides of the room. It just felt like a really different kitchen than what I would normally do. And you know what? I think that's because prior to this build, I think the last build that I did, it was the home in Copperdale, the family home that I did. So this was how do I phrase this? Aside from the high school that I built, which I did in the midst of my move recently, This and the Copperdale family home that I did recently were my first 2 builds in weeks, which was so weird to me. Like in weeks, maybe it felt like weeks and it wasn't really, but it felt like a really long time is what I'm trying to get at. And when I actually step away for a little while and come back to try to build something, I find that I make totally different decisions and I'm not necessarily just doing what I would typically do. So this build just felt really different for me because I hadn't been building for a little while and I made a lot of different design choices that I probably wouldn't typically make. So maybe that's why I'm extra excited for this build. But here are the 2 bedrooms upstairs. It's a very small home here, and this is the primary bedroom. And what I did because of this little bay window area is I put a console table behind the head of the bed and put a few decorations up there because trying to put side tables next to the bed, if it were bumped right into that bay window area, probably would have blocked your Sim's access to the bed and it would have looked a little bit funny. So this kind of almost makes it look like a built-in headboard, which was kind of neat. That wasn't necessarily my intention, but I thought it looked really nice. And it filled the space in a way that didn't look too awkward for me, at least. It may look awkward to you. Of course, if you download this build, you can change anything that you would like. And I actually anticipate changes because I didn't even mention like who this is for. So this is for a couple with their brand new baby. So I think this is maybe their first home. And I made it a baby's room mainly because it's a very small second bedroom, like really small. And that's because there isn't even a bathroom downstairs. I don't know if you noticed that. This is a 2-bed, 1-bath. It's a very small house. It's not a tiny home, but it is a very small house. There's not a lot of room for growth in this home. So this could be a great opportunity if you just have like a single Sim or a couple and maybe they end up having a baby or they turn that into an office or like a studio or something. There's a lot of flexibility with this build. It's just, there's not a lot of room to grow. If you want your Sims to have more than 1 kid, they're going to be really tight on space in this house. But I also quickly decorated the hallway. I just put the dresser out here. I did use those hanging dressers from, I think the high school years pack as well as Dream Home Decorator, which is great because those function as wardrobes, but I thought putting one in the hallway would make sense as well, just for realism's sake. And then this is going to be the nursery. And I kind of went with a brown and green theme. Again, trying to keep it somewhat autumnal, but really with just a lot of earthy tones. And I'm going to say I didn't overly decorate it. I still wanted it to feel lived in and as if it had, it served a purpose because we all know that babies are just objects. So you might be thinking, sometimes I think this, what's the point of decorating the whole nursery? There's really no point. I usually decorate rooms when they become toddlers because that's a little bit more personalized and exciting, but I don't know, I still wanted it to feel very cutesy and as if the parents put in an effort to decorate the space for their new addition. So there is another dresser in here. There's a little wastebasket just because it's the cute one from high school years that I thought was more so decorative than functional for this particular room. There's like some diapers and bottles and decorations on top of the wardrobe, and there's a nightlight. And I think there's the rocking chair, which I'm going to say it every single time I put a rocking chair in a nursery or a toddler room. I wish our adult Sims could rock our little ones to sleep or like read to them with them on their laps or something. I think that would be so cute. And I'm waiting for the day. It might be in vain, but I'm seriously waiting for the day that we can do that. I think that would be incredible. It would add so much depth to our Sims and I just really want it. But anyway, I am just continuing to decorate the nursery. Again, it's small, so I don't put too many things down, but just enough to make it look as though the parents were really going for a theme here. I also took this pillow from the little campers kit that had like little nature items on it and I put it on the rocking chair, which doesn't exactly match, but it was cute, so I thought it worked. And I also don't film the bathroom, by the way. There is just a shower, so when this baby becomes a toddler, you're gonna have to wash them in the sink or with that hand vacuum from the Bust the Dust kit, which is a thing, which is really funny. But this is going to be the raised side yard where there's a picnic table, there's a grill, a little campfire, and a few gardening pots, and the bee box. So lots of activities out there, but I hope you all enjoyed this video. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Staying at home, turn off the phone, I will listen to you. whisper your words like secrets written in an old moleskin, and look up above. The sunlight seems like it is gonna break in, and something ain't right. Yeah, something ain't right. Oh, something ain't right. Something ain't right. You straighten my shirt, wearing the skirt that my mother gave to you. I come up behind you and kiss on the side of your